Now at 9, the Great American Pony Drive makes its way through the 4 states. Plus, a local nonprofit is out on the range raising money for high schoolers. And
one Kansas teen is running for a good cause. That story coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Around 20 train cars went off the tracks in a derailment in Wyandotte last night. This is KOAM News at 9. I'm Anthony Saviello. The derailment blocked Main Street and East 153rd Road in Wyandotte. No one was hurt in the crash. Numerous area agencies responded to help. The BNSF train appeared to be hauling railroad ties traveling west from Missouri into Oklahoma. It was a beautiful day today. Meteorologist Lindsay Gaffney joins us with weather.
Well, today we got up to the 80s. We had a high of 83 in the Joplin region, which nearly hit the record of 88 set back in 2006. However, some of our surrounding counties got up to the 90s. That was Yates Center and Sedan got up to 91 and 92 degrees. So it was a really hot day all around. Starting to cool off, temperatures in the 70s, dropping to mid and lower 70s right now. Our low only being about 64 degrees tonight, so not too cool of a night either. We do have some clouds rolling into our southern counties, but we don't see any rain on the forecast until Monday afternoon. We may have a few showers a little earlier than that, but to start your day tomorrow, it's going to be pretty nice. We have some clouds rolling in around 7 a.m. and will be completely overcast by about 10 a.m. Temperature's still going to be up to the 80s, but we do have those rain chances, and I'll have more details for you in just a bit.
All right, thanks, Lindsay. One Kansas teen used today's good weather to run for a good cause. KOAM Samantha Walker has more on how a class assignment is helping to support individuals with spinal injuries.
Lebec Community College student Cass Lewis is doing more than just writing papers for class. For an assignment for his public relations class, he organized the Wheelie Fun Run fundraiser.
I'll be running for an hour, and people have pledged donations, given donations flat out, and I'm just going to run as much as I can.
Funds raised will support a newly formed nonprofit called Live With It. The organization supports individuals with spinal cord injuries and paralysis.
I've lived through that for the last 33 years, and we know there's just a lot of challenges that come along with being paralyzed, and so we want to just be there as a support and a resource for those people who have similar challenges.
Live With It founder Kevin Olson is Cass's uncle. Cass says the cause hits close to home.
I've just seen how he lives with it and how he lives a good life. I hardly ever never actually have heard him complain. And I think that it's important for people to have the opportunity to live the life they want to live, even with their disabilities.
Cass's public relations instructor came out to support her student, even running a lap with him. She says it's great to be able to see a student's work come to life in this way.
I always encourage students, again, to pick topics or pick causes that are near and dear to them. And so to have a student be able to bring a community together and raise money for such a good cause, that makes me pretty proud to be, teaching Cass and all my PR students.
And for the running teen, something that started as a class project became something so much more meaningful.
It makes me feel really good. With a small town like this, a lot of people know Kevin. He speaks at a lot of different places, even outside of town, outside of state even. And to see this many people care it's really awesome. I'm really glad to see people taking part in their community and stuff like this. I'm glad to be a part of it.
In total, Cass ran 22 laps, raising roughly $2,500. Reporting in Oswego, Samantha Walker, KOAM News.
Donations can still be made to the Teens fundraiser. You can learn more about the organization and how to make a donation on our website. That's KOAMnewsnow.com. A local nonprofit hosted a shooting competition to raise money for its mission of reaching out to high school students. The 8th annual Pool for Young Life brought shooters to the Shawnee Skies Range in Wyandotte to compete for prizes, including gift cards, spa gift boxes, meat and cheese, and more. Prizes were awarded to the top 3 teams as well as the top 3 individual shooters. All of the money raised supports the efforts of Southwest Missouri Young Life.
Just, typically for fundraisers, they have golf tournaments, and so we wanted to do something a little bit different because there's golf tournaments all over, and this is just another idea that you can, get everybody involved. And where we live here in Southwest Missouri, there's a lot of hunters, and so it's an opportunity to kind of engage with them and get them out here. And if you guys have never, shot clay, it's pretty fun.
There was also a raffle for an over-under shotgun. Well, saddle up. The Great American Pony Drive made a stop in Joplin today. No, they aren't real ponies, but they have quite a few under the hood. A group of Ford Mustang enthusiasts are celebrating the 60th anniversary of the Ford Mustang by taking a trip across Route 66. Their journey started in Oklahoma City and made its way through Miami, Baxter Springs, and Galena today before stopping at the Joplin City Hall.
It's a neat thing for people as they're driving by, they're double taking. It's like, look at all those cars. We've seen people videoing as we drive by and taking pictures. It's a big deal. It's fun.
The Club of Cars will be spending the night in Joplin before continuing their trip, which will end in Chicago. Coming up, the file deadline for taxes is almost here.
Time is running out to file your 2023 tax return. I'm Christina Coleman with what you should know if you've been putting it off. Coming up.
A new survey shows that inflation is pushing many Americans to their limits, their credit card limits, that is. A survey of 1,000 adults from Debt.com revealed that 35% of consumers have maxed out their credit cards in the last few years. Of those surveyed, 85% said that the increase in price because of inflation have caused them to rely more heavily on their credit cards to make ends meet. Almost a third of young Americans say they owed at least $10,000 to $20,000 in credit card debt. Intuit's financial education survey found that many American teens want to learn more about personal finances, but their high schools either have little to no finance course or their parents are reluctant to teach them at home. About 85% of the teens say they have an interest in learning about financial literacy, and 95% of teens who are currently enrolled in personal finance classes say the curriculum is helpful. It's called Oops. It's an app aimed at Gen Zers and teaches them about new ways to better save money without budgeting. Users can track their spending by linking their bank accounts to the app each week. You'll receive a weekly recap. And as you review your spending, you can press the Oops button to indicate something you regret buying. You can even compare your purchases with others with the goal of becoming a better spender. The app is currently available in the Apple Store. If you've been procrastinating on doing your taxes, there's just a couple of days left to file. Returns are due at 11:59 p.m. on Monday night unless you file for an extension. Fox News correspondent Christina Coleman has more.
If you've put off filing your taxes until now, the clock is ticking. For most of us, the deadline is Monday. The IRS says it's received over 100 million returns so far, but if you're one of the roughly 1 in 4 Americans who've waited until the last minute, it can be a source of stress and anxiety.
We have the pressure of doing it right and getting the deadline in on time and feeling worried about what might happen if I make a mistake. What might happen if I owe more on taxes than I'm expecting.
But it doesn't have to be that way. Experts say just take it one step at a time. Ask for help from family and friends or a tax professional if you need it. And focus on self-care if you're feeling stressed. If you're in one of these 12 states and made $79,000 or less last year, you can file for free on the IRS website thanks to the new Direct File Pilot program just rolled out this year. If you file electronically, you should expect any refund you're owed within 3 weeks. And if you opt for direct deposit, you'll see that money even faster. The average refund this year is about $3,000. Once you've checked over your paperwork and officially submit, give yourself a pat on the back for getting it done.
Plan on celebrating once you're done filing your taxes. Ask your friend to go for a walk with you or to come over for dinner. Give yourself a high five because filing taxes can be pretty stressful.
And if you're not ready by Monday, you can file for an extension. That will give you another 6 months to get it done. Reporting in Los Angeles, Christina Coleman, Fox News.
Lindsay is next with a complete look at your forecast. And later, we'll have the latest reactions from Iran's attack on Israel.
It's been a gorgeous day today, actually a gorgeous weekend all weekend. We've had temperatures in the 80s and clear skies for the most part. Taking a look at downtown Joplin from the Cornell Arts and Entertainment Center. Still pretty clear, although winds are gusting about 25 to 30 miles per hour. Now we do have clouds rolling in this evening and continuing to increase throughout the day on Monday as the storm starts to approach. Now, right now it's sitting over California. It's a pretty significant low pressure system and it's making its way into our area starting Monday. We'll have a couple of rounds of rain from that same system Monday and Tuesday. But to plan your day in the morning, we'll have some clouds rolling in earlier. However, a little bit later into the morning, around 10 a.m., it's going to be completely overcast. Temperatures are getting up to the low 80s, but with those overcast conditions, won't be too high in temperatures. Now we have winds calming down tonight and they'll continue to gust upwards of 25-30 miles per hour throughout the day on Monday. This is 9 p.m. We see faster wind gusts coming into our region. So the main threat with the storms actually going to be these damaging winds that we see. Tomorrow we'll have a slight risk for severe weather in our Kansas and Oklahoma counties. However, the rest of us only seeing a marginal risk. It's about 6 p.m. to 12 a.m. We'll have that first round of rain, and it is main threat being strong winds and possible hail. Tornado can't rule it out, but the likelihood as of right now, not seeing much in the development of tornadoes. Now Tuesday, those same storms bring a cold front, which gives us a slight risk for the counties in Missouri and a few still in Kansas and Oklahoma. And that marginal risk has shifted off to our western counties. Same deal, main threats being strong winds and hail. However, storm time frame is about 4 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Tuesday. We're going to take a look and see what you can expect. This is Monday morning. We'll have temperatures in the 60s, clouds, and then we'll start to see some showers possibly moving in later in the evening. Now this is that dry line that's moving in. So right behind it, pushing these storms is going to be a dry air mass. As that comes in, we see most of the stronger storm development up north, but we still do have some showers developing in our area and also in the southern counties and just below. So right now we're not seeing super strong development, but that could change as we get a little bit closer to the system approaching. Then this is Tuesday morning, about 4:30, we'll start to see some storms push into our western counties. This is a cold front that's moving in, and that's going to continue to shift, although, like I said, same thing, storms mostly developing north of us, but we do still have a few isolated thunderstorms pushing through. Those will continue to make their way through 9:30 a.m., continuing on. And then as we move into later in the day, we see this low pressure system rotating back into our region, bringing us some more showers Tuesday night. Nothing too severe. Main threats looking like it's going to be Tuesday morning, that 4 a.m. to 10 a.m. time frame. So we took off that possible alert for Monday. We do still have the potential for thunderstorms to develop Monday, just not looking like they are going to be too severe. And then again, Tuesday morning.
Well, after 2 days of 80 degrees, I'm ready for it to cool down.
It will. We've got temperatures in the 50s by this weekend due to the cold fronts that
That's too cold.
Okay, well,
make it go higher.
there's going to be temperatures in the 70s as well.
That works.
I did that for you. 75
and sunny.
Yes, 75. That's a song. Yeah, that's a good song.
Perfect. Thanks,
Joe
Lindsay.
Nichols is the person who sings that.
Perfect. Thanks, Lindsay. Mercedes-Benz manufacturing in Hungary finds a unique solution to staffing shortages that have plagued factories across the world. The car manufacturer has teamed up with Apptronic, a Texas-based tech company that builds humanoid robots. The tech company's latest design that's being implemented by Mercedes-Benz is called the Apollo. Apollo will help his human counterparts with reducing safety risks to humans by taking on more physically demanding tasks. Apollo can lift 55 pounds at a time, and his battery lasts 4 hours per pack. Coming up, Iran releases video of their attack on Israel. Israel has reopened its airspace after a drone attack by Iran. President Biden reaffirmed the United States' commitment to Israel following the strike. Fox News correspondent Rebecca Castor has more.
Sirens sounding across Israel early Sunday, hours after Iran's first ever direct attack on the country. Israel's military says hundreds of drones and missiles were launched toward Israeli territory on Saturday, forcing people into bomb shelters. U.S. officials confirm American forces intercepted dozens of those drones, on top of Israeli efforts to repel the strikes.
Together with our allies and partners, we are operating at full force to defend the state of Israel and the people of Israel. We will continue to fulfill this mission.
Iran says this attack is in response to a suspected Israeli airstrike that killed a top Iranian general in Syria this month. The violence is putting the Middle East on high alert and renewing concerns the war in Gaza could expand into a larger regional conflict.
They've traded blows below the surface for decades, Israel getting the better of that. But this is an open conflict now.
President Biden returned to Washington on Saturday to convene a meeting with his national security team. Later, he spoke by phone with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to reaffirm the United States' commitment to Israel, writing in a statement, in part, quote, Israel demonstrated a remarkable capacity to defend against and defeat even unprecedented attacks, sending a clear message to its foes that they cannot effectively threaten the security of Israel. The president is speaking with G7 leaders today to coordinate a diplomatic response to Iran's attack. In Washington, Rebecca Castor, Fox News.
Iran state TV releases footage of the moment the projectile attack began on Israel late Saturday. Iran sent over 300 missiles and drones to Israel, which caused minimal damage as Israel, the U.S., Britain, and Jordan shot down the projectiles. Former President Donald Trump says Iran's attack wouldn't have happened if he were president. Speaking to supporters Saturday at Schnecksville, Pennsylvania, former President Donald Trump doubled down on his support for Israel. During his remarks, he also said the attack happened because of the great weakness America has shown in this conflict.
It would not have happened if we were in office. You know that. They know that. Everybody knows that. But America prays for Israel. We send our absolute support to everyone in harm's way. This is an attack that would not have happened.
Up next, it's a party filled with puppies. Good news for those in California looking to add a furry friend to their family. The Humane Society is hosting its annual event, Puppy Palooza. Fox's James Torres takes us there to learn more.
They're small and loud, but they could be the next member of your family.
We came to meet Sam today and see if he's going to go home with us.
This is Puppy Palooza at the Silicon Valley Humane Society. You can walk around, meet more than 50 dogs to see if any of them are a good fit for your home. Officials here say it's important to set expectations before seeing the dogs.
I think having those conversations in advance so that when you come here and you are, ready to make that adoption, you've already talked about it. Yeah. So when you come here and fall in love, you already know what the path is going to be once you get the pet home.
The Humane Society is offering 25% off its adoption fees, and they say the more dogs adopted, the more room they open up to rescue more animals.
We bring quite a number of animals over on our regional rescue run from the Central Valley, and so we need the space to be able to help our partner shelters over there.
Visitors here say they're walking around with an open mind.
We just lost one of our dogs recently, so this is kind of important to me today. Yeah.
30 more minutes of news, weather, and sports coming your way. Coming up, how a man helped his wife through pregnancy by becoming a doula. When you think of a doula, it's traditionally a role held by women. They're trained to support an expectant mother during pregnancy, but men are starting to fill this job. Elisa Jackson has more on how one male doula is empowering other fathers about this supportive role.
James II is a toddler with a memorable personality.
Yay!
But he would never know what it took to get him here. The Hogues became new parents 3 years ago. They are parents who made sure they were on the same page on bringing a healthy baby into this world. They did all the research and knew from the start they wanted a natural home birth.
But it was about 6-8 weeks prior to our scheduled due date that my wife began to experience some complications. Those complications presented themselves as gestational diabetes, high. They thought it was preeclampsia, so the blood pressure was high.
Preeclampsia is a common and serious form of high blood pressure that is 60% more common in Black women compared to white women.
It happens more often than not.
An expecting mother never wants to have to change to a plan B for their first birth, but it was the safest option for Shanquita and their son.
There were moments where there were literal back and forths that I had to have with the medical staff to make sure my wife received the care that she deserved.
It was this experience that showed James Hogue everything a woman carries trying to give birth.
They're doing the heavy lifting. I don't want to switch sides or switch roles at all.
He did want to ease the load, so he became a trained birth doula. And Shanquita Hogue didn't need many words to describe how that made her feel.
Safe. Yeah.
He isn't doing it just for his household. He has his own nonprofit, Fathers Assisting Mothers, to empower men around Kansas City to do the same.
If you are a partner of a Black woman, then you need to definitely be involved to make sure that those needs are being met.
Unless you tell them, a child will never know how they got here. But this is the Hogues way of making sure they do.
Fathers Assisting Mothers will have a 4-week dad doula boot camp for soon-to-be fathers starting Saturday, April 20th. April is Parkinson's Disease Awareness Month. According to experts, this incurable neurological disorder affects about 1 million people in the country. Parkinson's affects the neurons that control your speech and movement. So if you see a person who exhibits symptoms like tremors, speech difficulty, or trouble moving, that's because their muscles become stiff or tighten involuntarily. Researchers are trying to find the cause of the illness to help find them a cure. A new study reveals that anxiety is the biggest concern among employees who are seeking mental health help. The study from ComPsych Corporation showed that nearly a quarter of people who sought mental health services from their employers last year cited anxiety as their main concern, outweighing depression, stress, grief, and addiction. More than 300,000 cases that the company handled in 2023 were analyzed for the study. A new national survey from KFF reveals that many adults who were previously disenrolled from Medicaid during the pandemic are now left uninsured. Since previous pandemic Medicaid unwinding resumed on April 1st of last year, more than 20 million people have been disenrolled from Medicaid programs. The KFF survey revealed that 23% of adults who were removed from Medicaid were left with no insurance coverage at all. A man in Philly got another shot at life by a stranger. Fox's Chris O'Connell takes us there to meet the man and the woman that saved his life.
Well, it's a great story with a strong message. A Phillies fan who caught tonight's ceremonial first pitch may not have even been here tonight without a perfect stranger who saved his life. Being on the field at Citizens Bank Park actually wasn't the biggest highlight of the night for longtime Phillies fan Joe DeMeo. It was meeting Mary Beth Foster for the first time.
I was more nervous probably for you.
You see, this 44-year-old from Somerton is living with one of Mary Beth's transplanted kidneys. The Maryland woman donated one of her kidneys after she got sick with nutcracker syndrome, a rare renal condition that forced her to remove her healthy organ. Her kidney was donated to Joe in a transplant done at Temple University Hospital.
It's crazy that I think that something that was pretty much killing me almost can save somebody else. And so when we found out that I could heal someone, then I didn't take a step back.
Tonight, Joe became another recipient of a ceremonial first pitch thrown by his donor, invited to the Phillies game on National Living Donor Day. It was DeMaio's second kidney transplant, his first donated by his wife 10 years ago. He needed another, and he got it, thanks to a stranger.
Thank you. I mean, like I think I said it a couple times already, and I don't think I could ever say it enough. I mean, you know, it's changed everything.
The goal tonight, to spread this life-saving organ donation story to the 33,000 fans at tonight's game.
When you talk to living donors, they say it changes their life for the better because they never feel more connected to another human being when they step forward and give a piece of themselves to save someone's life.
With a new kidney, DeMaio says now he could play with his 5-year-old son, walk his dog, and go to a Phillies game. Ordinary things, thanks to an extraordinary person.
I can't imagine someone waiting for their healing. Like, I could still live, but someone might not be able to live another day.
Although tonight was their first official meeting, Joe and Mary Beth actually were sitting across from each other in the waiting room of the emergency room the morning of their transplant operations, and they didn't even know it.
Still ahead, we'll take a look at what's booming in the box office.
Well, we've got temperatures in the 80s today. That's going to continue tomorrow, but with the overcast conditions, may not see as high of temperatures as we saw today. Taking a look at downtown Joplin from the Cornell Arts and Entertainment Center, we do have some fast winds still blowing tonight. They'll continue to gust upwards of 30-35 miles per hour tomorrow as well. And that's ahead of this storm system that we have moving in right now, still over in California. And it's a low pressure system that'll be making its way into our area Monday night, bringing us rain Monday night and Tuesday morning. Don't expect rain earlier in the day, though. We're mostly just going to see some overcast conditions, temperatures getting up to the upper 70s by noon tomorrow. Then we're going to see some rain chances start to increase as we go into the later afternoon hours. And about the same time, that's when we're going to see these winds increase as well. About 4 p.m., we'll start to see them gusting upwards 20-25 miles per hour. But as we continue into the evening, we see those spike up to about 30-35 miles per hour. That's going to continue on for the next couple of days. We even see winds gusts getting as high as 50 miles per hour on Tuesday as well. So what you can expect right now, risk-wise, we see a slight risk for our counties in Kansas and Oklahoma. This is for the storms that we have coming in Monday, about 6 p.m. to 12 a.m. Main threats being strong winds and hail, but we can't rule out a tornado as well. If these storms do develop, we could see some isolated thunderstorms bringing tornadoes possible. Now, shifting off to Tuesday, those slight risks are moving off to the counties in Missouri, still some counties in Kansas and Oklahoma as well. And that is for 4 a.m. to about 10 a.m. on Tuesday. We'll see another round of rain coming in, and the main threat again being strong winds and hail is still possible as well. So we'll have those overcast conditions throughout the day. And as we move into later in the afternoon, we have a dry line developing through our region, bring some showers. Right now, we're only seeing some brief showers. You can see in Joplin and even in some of our southern counties. Now it'll quickly move off to the east, and then we'll flash forward to Tuesday morning. This is about 4:30. We have those storms pushing in on those western counties. That's a cold front moving in. And that cold front's going to continue in. We'll see some isolated thunderstorms with this, although the main threat's going just north of us, even north of Kansas City. So we'll have some potential for those thunderstorms to develop. But as of right now, not seeing much. And then Tuesday night, we have some more possible showers rolling back in as that low rotates, and that could be coming into our northern counties. Still not a main threat with that as well. We took off the possible alert day for Monday, seeing as those storms aren't really kicking off right now. We could see them fire up as we get a little closer to the event along that dry line. But main threat we'll see mostly coming in Tuesday morning about 4 a.m. to 10 a.m. So you could expect some storms when you're getting ready for your day on Tuesday.
We'll take all the rain we can get.
Yes. But I don't have a lawnmower yet, so
that's fair too.
I need the rain to cool off.
I'll come mow your lawn if you need me to.
Oh, thank you.
No problem.
I appreciate that.
I got you, homie. Coming up in sports, it's Sunday at the Masters. We take a look at the highlights of the final day. Plus, Pitt State baseball completes the weekend with a big win. Brock Baldridge joins us for the highlights and more.
The Pitt State Gorillas wrap up their weekend series with Missouri Western. PSU has already won the first 2 games of the series, and now they have a shot to sweep the Griffins on Sunday. A picture-perfect Sunday as the Pitt State Gorillas aim for their 4th straight win. We start things off in the 2nd inning as Cade Clemens launches this ball to center field, and take a good look. You won't see this one for long. A no-doubter 3-run homer in the shrubs. Pitt State leads 3-0. So we go to the 4th inning now. Same score as Brady Paca catches the comebacker and turns the 1-4-3 double play to get out of the inning. Pitt State still leads 3-0, so we head to the bottom of the frame now. Dagan Brady shows off a nice piece of hitting here. Opposite field, an RBI single, and Pitt State leads 4-0. Now, just like Saturday's game, Missouri Western comes all the way back. We have a tied ball game going to the bottom of the 9th. It's a 5-5 game. Bases are loaded for the Gorillas, and Austin Warkins comes down to score the game-winning run on a wild pitch, and Pitt State walks it off and completes the weekend with a series sweep. The Gorillas win this game 6-5. In Northeast Oklahoma this weekend, the Missouri Southern Lions wrap things up with the Riverhawks. No trouble for the Lions on Sunday as Southern wins the series finale 11-1 in 7 innings. Southern returns home on Tuesday against Drury. Well, the St. Louis Cardinals are out west in Phoenix for their final game of the series against the Arizona Diamondbacks. Cards look to start the road trip with a series win. Cardinals versus Diamondbacks. Chase Field is closed with the roof today, so in the 5th inning, Arizona leads 1-0 as Jake McCarthy sends a line drive to right field. RBI double, Diamondbacks lead 2-0. Later in the inning, Corbin Carroll singles the right field with the bases loaded. 2 more runs coming to score, and the Arizona's lead swells up to 4-0. So we head to the 6th inning now. Wilson Contreras hits a deep fly ball into the gap, and look at this. McCarthy makes a great catch as he avoids the collision with Carroll. Arizona goes on to handle business the rest of the way. Diamondbacks win this game 5-0. St. Louis will travel to the Bay Area and face Oakland tomorrow night. In New York City, the Kansas City Royals lose the series finale to the New York Mets 2-1. Kansas City will face the Chicago White Sox on the road Monday night. To the NBA now. Oklahoma City needs to win to get that #1 seed. So first quarter, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander gets the turnaround jumper to go. OKC leads by 14. Later in the first, Josh Giddey with a beautiful pass to Jalen Williams, and he flushes that slam. Oklahoma City leads by 9. We go to the second quarter now. SGA with a lob pass to Chet Holmgren. My goodness, throws it down with some authority. Oklahoma City now leads by 24, and they start to push that lead as we're still in the second quarter. Lou Dort with a pump fake, then drains the corner 3, and Oklahoma City hammers the Dallas Mavericks 135-86. And with that win, the Thunder secured the #1 seed in the Western Conference playoffs. Well, as always, it's a tradition unlike any other, as it's Sunday at the Masters with one of the biggest spectacles in all of the sports, and it delivers once again. Final round of the Masters from Augusta National. Chances are you may have seen Patrick Mahomes tweet about this guy all weekend. Ludwig Oberg, the Texas Tech alum, with his first major appearance, par 4 in the 7th there, hits a beauty shot. Close to the flag, converts the birdie. However, well, Scotty Scheffler was just too hard to beat on this Sunday. Par 3 in the 16th, Scheffler sinks the 9-footer birdie to take a 4-stroke lead. Then on the 18th hole, it's Scheffler who's going to roll in the short putt to finish the round at under 11. For the second time in 3 years, Scotty Scheffler gets to add another green jacket to that wardrobe because he is your winner of the 88th edition of the Masters. And Anthony, I know you've been following along all week, and Scotty Scheffler does it once again.
He's an amazing golfer to watch. I've been watching it all weekend. He's one of my favorites, a young man, and he could go on to win several more. I have utmost confidence in him.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping we have a closer match toward the end there, but it looked like Scotty Scheffler, once he got to that back 9, he just kind of took over.
Yeah, he proves why he is world #1. Absolutely. And congratulations, he's got baby on the way.
Yes.
So,
yes.
Absolutely. Awesome job, Scotty Scheffler. We'll be right back. The weekend box office battle pitted 2 titans against an actual war movie. David Daniel has the early estimates for the top 5 films in theaters.
I won't be fighting for him. I'm fighting for my people.
Dune Part 2 fell to 5th place, earning $4.3 million for a domestic total of $272 million. At number 4, Kung Fu Panda 4 made $5.5 million. It's at $174 million domestic. Ghostbusters Frozen Empire stayed in 3rd, scaring up $5.8 million.
Hey, what are you telling me?
Godzilla Kong: The New Empire lost the top spot, but $15.5 million gave the MonsterVerse movie 2nd place and $158 million domestic.
Why didn't I just tell him not to shoot them?
They're probably going to kill them anyway.
How do you know?
Civil War exceeded expectations and topped the box office with $25.7 million, the biggest debut ever for its distributor, A24. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Prince Harry and Meghan are returning to Netflix. Archwell Productions is currently in the early stages of 2 new TV shows. One series will feature Meghan, quote, celebrating the joys of cooking, gardening, and friendship. Prince Harry will be the star of another series showing viewers the world of the sport polo. It is unclear when each show will come out. Up next, first responders save a puppy trapped in an unusual place. Crews rescue a small puppy trapped in a brick wall. Arizona Humane Society and the Phoenix Fire Department and Police Department worked together to free the pup. Heavy machinery was brought in to help speed up the process, and after more than an hour, the young puppy was free. Veterinarians found the pup, now named Leche, to be healthy overall, but kept her for evaluation to make sure she was well. She has now been adopted by the man who found her. Well, that's our time for tonight. Thanks for joining us. We'll leave you with a video of Fubao the panda. From all of us here at KOAM, have a great night.